What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a colony builder called Base 1. I don't know what's in the water right now. In the indie world, it is like entirely cyberpunk games, space games, and card games. There is legitimately like nothing else. You get occasional stuff that comes through, but man, they are on a real tear right now in those three genres. That seems to be what's in vogue. I've noticed it's cyclical. I've talked about this before on videos where it's kind of odd how there's like these trends. When I've been doing this now for almost 10 years, I'm getting there, and there's like these trends where it just kind of goes up and down on the little regression curve of like certain genres and certain games all coming out at the same time. It feels like for a month or two it's like all CRPGs, and then for a month or two it's all card games. Right now it's all cyberpunk games, it's all space games, and it's all card games. So anyways, we're gonna dive straight on in. We're gonna check this on out, see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or otherwise pass on. If after watching this you wanted to do that, I will have a linkies for you down below so that you can click on that and go add it to your wish list, or get the game. You can also look down there for my Discord, which is a rad-ass place. You should definitely swing on through. And then my Twitch stream, which frankly, I feel like I'm better live than I am recorded, all right? Say what you will about my recorded content, but I feel like live is where I really, really thrive. So anyways, let's dive on into the campaign. We're going to spend about 25 minutes with the game and see if it's something that you wanted to get for yourself. There is a campaign mode right here. I think you can also play, on sandbox mode, although I don't know if the sandbox mode is entirely set up just yet. It looks like it is actually, so that's ready to rock. We could actually do the sandbox mode too, but we'll do the campaign mode. I've done the trouble of playing through the first tutorial just to kind of get a feel for it. Nothing super special there. It's basically what you would expect, although there are some interesting things that the game's playing around with regards to logistics and connecting objects that maybe you probably want to play the tutorial before you play the game. Hopefully I've learned enough, but we got the mothership Heraclids with 2,000 colonists on board crashes when leaving a wormhole funnel in the Hope planetary system. There's debris everywhere and nothing is left of the ship. Oh, dude, did they go straight Event Horizon, dude? Are we gonna find them out there holding their own eyeballs and being like Liberate Tex and Ferris? I like that movie a lot. In case, I don't know, dude, I'm kind of a cinephile. I watch a lot of movies. At least I used to. I haven't been really watching them a lot since lockdown, but I have been watching, a lot of movies over the course of an entire life, I guess. I don't know,
Earth,
pop culture's all I have.
The cradle of humanity, our common home. You gave us life, food, and technology. We have grown. We have built shining cities to the heavens. We have risen up to great heights and fallen down to the depths. And we have traversed the path of war and suffering. Now, all this can disappear, turn to dust. Disaster struck us 14 years ago. Space seemed to be turned inside out. A huge, luminous funnel appeared near the moon. It grew rapidly, turning into a giant whirlpool. It was a wormhole. It radiated with the strongest gravity. Huge chunks began to break off from the moon. They slowly floated through space and disappeared in the center of the funnel. The moon lost some of its mass. A wave of cataclysms passed over the entire surface of the Earth. Giant waves flooded many coastal cities. Sleeping volcanoes awakened, and earthquakes began. The gravity of the wormhole partially compensated for the loss of the moon's mass, and everything gradually subsided. But the damage was incredible. Cities lay in ruins. The economies of entire countries were destroyed. As we began to heal wounds and rebuild our cities, humanity gradually came to its senses. We began to research the wormhole and learned a lot. But along with the knowledge came the terrible truth. Over time, the moon will be destroyed, and with it, life on Earth will disappear. Soon, dozens of automatic ships and satellites were sent into the wormhole. The best minds of mankind studied the data for months on end, and suddenly it turned out that this was a door to another world, to a world at the other end of the galaxy. Yes, it was hope. To find a new home, start all over again. Who knows what awaited us there, beyond? Maybe this is a chance to become more than we are, a chance to get answers to our eternal questions. Who are we, and where do we come from? And so we built a fleet, a great fleet, with millions of tons of metal shining in the sun, and 2,000 hearts on board. We entered the wormhole and traveled through space. We were ready for what was next.
If I know anything, we came from Mesopotamia. That's the answer to all questions when you're in high school. If the teacher asks you a question, you just be like, Mesopotamia, and you'll get it right like 90% of the time, dude. That's how I passed high school, is just by screeching Mesopotamia over and over and over again. It's the only reason they gave me a diploma. Moshi Moshi, Splattercat Dessous.
Oh my god, you're alive. I thought that there was nobody left. How many of you have survived? Is anyone injured?
There's 4 of us out of 2,000. Oh, that is not a good conversion ratio for this colony mission, dude. That's a really, really bad turnover rate. I'm not gonna lie.
It seems there's nothing left of the Heraclids. Only a small group survived. 2 freighters in your team. One ship is heavily damaged while it's not clear what to do with it. The Carnegie, unfortunately, didn't survive.
All right, well, the Carnegie had communications equipment on it. Can we hook up with Earth?
I think you can try to assemble a transceiver module. A small part of the wreckage has been thrown out of the wormhole. It seems to be Heraclids. If we examine it, perhaps then we will find something useful.
Okay, so what's the planarinos?
We need to check all the debris. We also need to check on one of the freighters, but so far we can't move. Our control and navigation are damaged. Will you check on the debris? In the hub there should be enough construction kits for assembly hangar module and launching the probe. While you get started on this, we will evaluate the condition of the ships.
Okay. I will do those things that you have told me to do for the requisite tasks that are probably going to pop up on the side of the screen, right? There they are. I knew they were gonna. All right, so here we are. We have our little colony ship. Spacebar does not pause the game. Oh, the game doesn't pause at all. All right, well, we've got a couple of things around here. We've got, like, little med kits over here. We've got construction kits over here. We got a couple people wearing hats inside of what looks like basically a space waffle that's covered with solar panels. Not the most comfortable environment to live in, but we're going to get started with all this. So the first thing we need to do is we need to build life support, and we need to build solar panels. I think we can probably do that. Let's go to the construction menu. We'll take a look. We've got a life support right here. So this is what's going to kind of allow us to move oxygen and electricity like all over the place. And so having one is going to be very, very necessary. Other things that we can make, it looks like we've got the solar panel right here. So I see no reason why we shouldn't just mash one of those. Oh, wow, you can make that like a really long corridor. Woof. Okay, rotating the camera. Rotating the camera's got like a little bit of like swing to it. You got to kind of go slow. A little bit of sensitivity there. We can put the solar panel right there. That looks good. I like the little blueprint kind of outline, I guess scaffolding that it creates. These guys will put on spacesuits and they go out through a little floor hatch and then they'll fly on over here and they'll start building buildings that will do building-y things. Okay. All right, so there's our life support. So the life support, this game uses kind of a weird modular system. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. Like, I guess it kind of reminds me of Planet Base, but, like, I'm not super sure on that. So each of these little things right here is a slot where you can put a device. And, like, some devices will produce electricity. Some devices are, like, batteries. Some devices are basically, like, life support modules, which is what the ELD is. And then we've got to set up connections to basically make sure that every single part of the ship has access to oxygen, it has access to heat, and it has access to, what's the green one? There's another one. If you take a look at any of the modules, they all have a readout on the side. So I think you have oxygen, you have power, and you have heat, I think are the 3 different things. So with these over here, we need to build some modules so that people can actually go inside of these things and utilize them. So let's go with, we can build the hangar, actually. I guess the hangar's available. Yeah, let's do a hangar. I'll just kind of keep the... Can I put the hangar, like, right over here? Yeah, let's keep the hangar, I guess, nice and close, possibly. Oh, it doesn't like it on that side because of the solar panels. Okay. We'll put the hangar right there. And the other thing we need to do is we need the ELD. So if we go to our life support module, there's the ELD right here. Basically, this is a universal device. It will make sure that one module has power and air and all that kind of stuff. And we can just slot that in right there. The other thing that it wants me to have is apparently a battery. So we'll throw a battery in there too. So this game doesn't have like integrated electrical wires. It uses kind of an interesting system in all honesty. And by interesting, I'm not sure if I mean good or bad. But like effectively, just because we have solar panels does not mean that we have power running to the rest of the base. Now this hab right here is self-sufficient. It produces its own oxygen power and heat. It doesn't need any input from any other building. But when it comes to the solar panels, you actually have to figure out a way to route the power. So I guess we don't have like wires in the walls. Instead, you've got to basically run some kind of weird Wi-Fi connection to these things and move stuff around. So the ELD is ready to rock. The hangar's good to go. We have a number of tasks that have been completed, so that's really, really good. Is there anything else that I need to do around here? We need a battery, which I think I already slotted up, right? Yeah, the battery's right there. And then we also have... Oop, I'm in construction mode right now. We also have this ELD right here. So we need to set up some connections. But the connections aren't really going to function altogether that well until we have the battery set up. We need a place to collect the power from this and keep it in a central repository, and then we can start throwing stuff around. Let's just take a look at like the environment right here. It actually looks pretty good. It's pretty colorful. I like it. It seems vibrant. I don't know. That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of vibrancy. Let's see, very saturated, I guess, which works for me. I like my games to be very saturated when it comes to the color palette. So we've got to set up our connections over here. So we need a power connection. We've already got that selected. So we take the power connection and we put it over there on that. Now, we just have to connect other stuff to the battery now in order to make sure that it all has electricity. So for example, we could take it and we can connect it to the ELD. So the ELD is now connected, and as you can see, it'll actually give you a trace path for where the signal is going, and I find that to be really satisfying, how it's like bloop, and it sends it over here and then goes bloop and sends it over to there. Pretty cool. You need to make a logistics connection. This is important because anything that doesn't have a logistics connection, all of your stuff is stored inside this room. As you can see, stuff like repair kits, med kits, spacesuits, all that kind of stuff. Basically, any resource that you have available for repairing or like building or allocating or manufacturing needs to be connected to this location because this is where it's all stored. This is basically kind of like an internal trigger for the game that knows that you want this object to pull from this stockpile, I guess. So we'll put the logistical connection right there. So that's now connected to the central repository. We need to decide where we want this to supply heat and oxygen. Otherwise, they're going to have to put on spacesuits whenever they want to go inside of this thing. And it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. So I would say let's just heat this thing up so that they can actually build more of these in peace without having to wear down our spacesuits. Our spacesuits, I don't know if you noticed, but they have a health bar on them. So the spacesuits degrade over time, and if you don't have a way to replace the spacesuits, you can no longer build or go outside or scavenge debris or anything else. It is a recipe for heartache. So we're going to hook up the heat right here. This should start working. It's extremely cold inside this room right now. It's not going to support humanity, but we can also connect oxygen to right there too. And what we should see is that it should start supplying this area with those things, and it should get a little bit cleaner. So we'll close that on down, and we'll kind of keep an eye on this. It looks like the oxygen and the heat are increasing, but it's going to take a little bit of time to get that done. I do wish, so let me take a look at the control. Can I look at the control panel right here? Hey, they can actually live inside of there now. Nice. Well, hopefully it'll keep increasing it. You guys, I don't know. Listen, go back inside that module over. It's not even done oxygenating, dude. They'd be like, listen, we have been inside this pancake for like the last 38 hours. I need a change of scenery. And I'd be like, well, can you wait till the change of scenery actually has like oxygen and actually has like heat? If you could do that for me, it'd be great. They want me to build a probe launcher, but I need to get that room all nice and set up. So I'm sort of like wanting to build. I don't know if I should go. So we've got 15 of these right here. We can do, let's see here, with our devices, we can do We can do another ELD, and that ELD could be responsible for that module right there. I think it's not a terrible idea. I think it's a reasonable one. I don't seem to have any kind of indicator for, like, how much power I have right now. That's the part that kind of concerns me, is that, like, I'd like to have a readout on how much power I have. Okay, so apparently I don't have those available just yet. We have a little bit of oxygen ready to rock. We have a ton of construction kits. Our crew is unavailable at the moment, so we can't even get into theirs. Supply bases are unavailable. All right, so I think they've got me locked down for the duration of the tutorial. But I'm going to hook up the life support over here. Hopefully one battery and one of these is enough. Ideally, what I would like for it to be is that the power draw that we have, I'm hoping that it's good enough that it will supply 3 of these. And that way, I can hook this up to it as well, so we can do whatever routine maintenance or whatever needs to happen inside of the solar panel. Let's go ahead and we'll go back to our connections menu. And this doesn't need to go to oxygen. Instead, we can put the O2 in there with the power connection. Logistics-wise, we should definitely have that go to there. I don't know what the maximum number of connections this thing can draw is. I suppose we'll find out. I think that the 1,000 out of 1,000 is the power that we have available. Like, I was thinking maybe it was the HP of the module in case it got damaged, but I think that is actually probably what I was requesting previously. So oxygen's going over there. Did we send heat over here? We did not. Okay, so send heat over to that module right there, too. And actually, I may make a third one right here that'll run over to this side. Over here, I may just turn this entirely into solar panels on this side so that, like, all of our solar panels are centered over here. All of our life support modules will be centered over here, and then everything else will kind of be connected on the in-between, just to keep things sort of organized. I find that with, like, logistical games, it's usually a good idea to keep things as organized as possible. We'll see how badly the power drains overnight. There is a specialty to how the solar panels work in this game, and it's actually a fairly predictable one. The solar panels only work during sunrise, daytime, and sunset. They do not work at all at night, and so you gotta kind of watch out for that. So oxygen has been restored over here, heat has been restored over here. That's good because that means we can work inside this room without having to put on a spacesuit. And as you can see, even the small amount of labor that we've done inside of our spacesuits has unfortunately degraded them by, like, probably about 15%, and we only have like 2 of them. So we really need to get up to the point where we can manufacture our own spacesuits before we start really, really heavily utilizing the spacesuits, because we don't want to end up soft locking ourselves. I don't know if that's even a thing, but we've got a probe launcher right here. An operator is required for the probe launcher. All right, well, throw the probe over there. Sounds good to me. Hopefully they don't throw on a spacesuit and go on over here. It looks like our power is holding. We're about midway through the night right now. We are draining a bit. And actually, from watching this, we can kind of derive what our total power, well, we can totally derive what our total power loss is going to be over the course of the night. So I think that'll work out. I'm actually really stoked to figure out how this probe launcher is going to work. I'm pretty excited about this. I wonder if it's like directional, like we can only fire the probe. Nice! So, the probe is launched through a probe launcher through a hatch in the floor of the module. In order to load the probe into the launcher, we got to connect it through the logistical connection to the hub. Okay. An operator is required. The probe damages and will need to be replaced with a new one. Okay. Alright, fair enough. The question now then is it automated? You can select the appropriate group of targets for scanning. The probe scans all resources in a row. Okay. I assume that we have power running over here. Does this have power? This does not have power. Yellow!
Well done. Our situation isn't good. One freighter is in critical condition. It will have to be completely disassembled. But then we may have enough resources to build a small station. Are you ready to start scanning?
Sure, dude. There's also no food water repair kits here.
Oh, then it's better to search for supplies first. There are a lot of small debris and containers around. Scan those with a probe. There are probably valuable resources there. I only hope the probe doesn't let us down.
Alright. So we're going to need to reroute some power and whatnot first to get this all moving. It looks like we've used about 100 power, getting almost halfway through the night. I don't know exactly how this is all going to play out. but we got to power stuff. We don't really have much of a choice. It looks like it's still sending things over to replenish lost, I guess, oxygen and other stuff. We definitely need to send power over to here. I don't think we're going to drain this out over the night. What I'd like to see is what the draw rate is going to be off of the solar panels as well once the sun starts coming up, too. That's not connected logistically, and they said that we needed to do that, so we'll throw that over there logistically. That's now ready to rock, and it looks like the probe is actively ready. Oh, there's our operator right there. Hold on, slow it down, dude. What's our little probe doing? Hold on. I had the game on triple speed. I don't want it to be on triple. I love drones and probes and things like that, dude. Like, whenever I play like Shadowrun, I always play like a rigger, dude. I like to have like drones, and I like to have bots that I fly around with. Apparently, the robot found some repair kits. Okay. That sounds good. I don't know how many repair kits we're actively going to need. I'm going to leave it on... How far away are all of the debris fields? Actually, there's quite a few around here. I'm sure we'll grab all this stuff. I wonder if we get to mine these rocks later. That might be kind of fun. Sort of stoked about that. I'm actually pretty impressed with how, like, animated the game is. Like, the character models aren't, like, incredible, but I do like all the motion and, like, all the color. I'm a simple man. I like things shiny and saturated with deep colors, okay? Probe number 2 is up. We got useful stuff. We found some water. That's good. We need that so that we can survive and make pee. That's very, very important to, like, human survival as far as I know. That's going to be kind of a vital object to have. Okay, so we've searched everything. It looks like we picked up just about every object that's around. We found some spare spacesuits. We got some M-kits. We got some other things. We got food rations. So that looks good. I assume at some point we're going to set up, like, hydroponics or something like that in order to get ourselves fed. We only have 30 rations, though, so assuming everybody gets 1 ration a day, that's like 8 days worth of food, maybe.
Well, you are indeed lucky. It looks like there are plenty of useful resources. I didn't want to tell you, as I thought we could handle it ourselves, but we have a serious problem here. The condition of most of our crew is poor. Fractures, injuries, burns.
Okay, med bay?
That's enough for now. Can you build a docking bay? We will send all injured people to you.
Oh, you mean the injured people are on board your ship. I thought he was saying my people were injured. Okay, yeah, we can do a medical center, and I assume that's how we're gonna bring in new crewmates and whatnot as well. That's ready to go. Our power actually refilled very quickly once daytime hit, so I think we've got enough resources to do what we want to do. So what I'm gonna do out here is we will get started on. We need a med bay and we need a docking bay. Okay. Let's connect the med bay. Possibly over here. Yeah, we'll connect the med bay to this side. And then we also need a docking bay. I think a good place for a docking bay. So it looks like it goes out that way. Okay. So the docking bay is going to have to kind of be off to the side of everything. And it's going to be the terminus. So we really, really, really do not want to put our docking bay like right here. Because that would block off effectively this entire side of the map, would be my guess. We want the docking bay to kind of, I mean, whichever we put this on, it's basically the end of the line because we can't attach anything to it. So I guess I'll put it right there. That seems okay. We'll kind of keep this area for engineering, I guess. That's what I'll do. This will be the life support area, including medical science, and then this area will be kind of like engineering, although I do think that we could probably fit engineering over on this side, too. Let's go for another one of the EDLs, and that's going to supply power over to here. We're obviously going to have to make another life support module. We may have to make ourselves another... Oh, cool. It's done. Nice. Okay, so there's our med bay right there. We'll get that up and running in just a minute, and then we've also got our docking bay over on this side. We don't have the medical station devices set up, but I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be all right. Like, the power looks okay for these 3 right here. I'd like to maybe see how many of these actual distributors that we can get that can connect to 1 power node off of 1 solar panel to get a real feeling for efficiency of, like, you know, I want to make sure that the devices that we have, we're using the max. We got to use the whole buffalo here, I guess. Like, we're kind of we're in duress. We're in a bad situation. All right, our survival prospects are in arrears, and I'd like to be as efficient as possible. Well, thank you for that, Selena Jenkins, and for the update. So we need to get life support over to there. We need life support over here. We need life support over here. I believe...
Assembly completed.
Interestingly enough, I do think another life support is a really good idea. Yeah, I'd like that to connect to both corridors right there if I can get it to. Even if it makes the base a little asymmetrical, I'd like to prep. Let's get our connections set up. I think that the med bay is probably what I'll throw in here next. So that'll go to there. Hopefully we don't see the power start to fall by having all these devices hooked up. I can kill off one of these connections because I don't think we're going to be using probes anytime soon. But it looks like we're okay for daytime function. Nighttime function might be something altogether different. Let's connect heat over to here. Let's connect oxygen over to here. So you're going to... Where are you going to? Oh, it's supplying to this room. That's supplying to there. That's supplying to there. Fantastic. All right. Now we just need to figure out what else we want to do here. We've got another life support going up right there. I doubt that we're going to have the power infrastructure to support 2 life supports. It might be a bit much for us. But if we can keep these things sort of segmented, I think we'll be all right. I think I'm going to keep 3 EDLs to a battery. I think is what I'm going to do. It seems like a good play because we're starting to get like a little trickle right here that indicates to me that this one is kind of capped out. Like every now and again you see it dip and it recovers, but it dips and it's dipping more frequently now that we're into sunset. And so I bet over the nighttime this thing is going to drain out probably about to 400, 500. And I don't think I want to push it any closer than that. I don't want to run into a situation where every single night the power is going out for like 10 minutes. That would be a little bit dystopian. I think we should probably get another power plant over on this side. I think that's where we should probably start off. It looks as though you cannot connect a power plant to a power plant. I've been fiddling with it now, and it looks like you can't connect a power plant to a power plant. I don't know exactly why that would be. But as of right now, it just seems like that's par for the course in the way that it works. And so I guess we'll just kind of keep all the power on this side over here. And hopefully that'll be okay. I mean, we are getting a little bit low on construction kits. One thing that I would recommend that they add is that when you mouse over these things, it tells you, what they are. I assume that these are construction kits right here, but I might be entirely wrong because there's really no way to know except for like in the tutorial it said, and like maybe I wasn't paying attention very well. We're going to need another battery over here. We are going to need at least another 3 EDLs, but that should bring us online as far as I know. So we'll get them all to work. And that will, the 3 EDLs will get that, and that, so that everything is now accessible.
And ready to proceed with the next one.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So with the power plant done, I need to jump into my logistical menu, and like obviously we need to get this hooked up. We'll go power
Finished with the assembly and ready to proceed with the next one.
to there, perfect. We'll connect power to there, we'll connect power to there, we'll connect power to there. And then we also need logistics to be connecting all of these to the centralized hub. There we go. So that's been supplied to the centralized hub. Looks good. The other thing that we need to do is we need to set up heat. So this will go over to here. And then oxygen over to there. We need oxygen to go out to here. We need heat to go out to here. And then this one right here, we need heat to go out to there. And we need oxygen to go out to there. It's going to get a little bit messy. I can virtually guarantee you. Unfortunately, since I wasn't able to connect these the way that I wanted to, it's now going to get a little bit messy, I think. But I think it'll be okay. Let's check all of our meters. I'd like to make sure that everything is moving along. We connected these right at sunrise, which is really, really great. Power and heater up. Power and heater up. Power and heater up. Fantastic. We're in good shape. So now we need to get the medical bay all nice and set up. So let's take a look at... We've got the med bay. There's medicine right there. So we got med station T1. It's going to require a medical. It's going to require a power connection. Okay, that's a bit of a bummer, but not altogether unexpected. I think some of these devices...
The assembly is all done. Ready for the next one.
Nice. Okay, we'll close that on off, and let me slow the game down real fast to make sure that I don't get ahead of myself, because I have a tendency to do that. But that's all ready to rock. I haven't made the docking bay module yet. Hello?
Are you ready for us to send over our injured crew? We will fly them to you and they can dock with the station. Fortunately, there is a medic among the survivors. I'm sure he will be able to operate all the equipment.
Okay, that sounds good. I was actually about to ask that question, where are we going to get a doctor from? Looking at our power right now, at about midway through the day, I think it's possible. Why is this saying that there's no O2 right here? O2 should definitely be going somewhere from you. Why is it saying that there's no O2 going out? Oh, does this building have no oxygen and no power? Weak. Okay, back to the logistics menu. Ah, I forgot to make life support actively go to this building right here. Okay, a little bit of a dead zone. Little tiny bit of a dead zone, but we'll do our best here. Is there anything else we can scan for? I'd like to get some more construction kits. Oh, they're pulling up right now. That's a cool looking ship. I think I needed a docking module or something, though, to make this work. Didn't I? Let's look. I thought I had to build something special to, like, interface with the docking. Oh, I guess that I don't. I guess this thing functions independent. Well, this is base 1. I hope you guys liked it. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. It surprised me. This is actually not bad. I looked at some screenshots and some trailers and whatnot beforehand, and I was like, okay, well, we'll see where it goes. Like, I like the space shots, and I like some of the things about it, but some of the things like the character portraits and whatnot had me thinking, like, okay, well, you know, maybe it's like a mixed bag or whatever. But honestly, it seems pretty cool so far. We're only about 30 minutes in, but hey, I'd be interested to play it a little bit more. Swing on over to Twitch. Maybe it'll happen. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for stopping on in. How you doing? Take care, everybody. Have something for you tomorrow.